How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. How are you doing today? I am going over my 5 highlights of the week. To get right into it, my number 1 is Spurs versus Luton Town getting canceled. No, not Luton Town, sorry, Leyton Orient. I forgot to fix it right there. 2 hours beforehand, the game was announced that it was canceled. Spurs had actually paid for Leyton to get tested. However, through those tests, they found that a significant number of players tested positive for COVID, as well as staff. At least 18 are known. I'm not sure if that number is completely confirmed, that's it. There's only 18. And right now it's being decided whether to award the tie to Spurs and they essentially get a bye and move on to the next round, or Leyton managed to get a team together. They were talking about getting basically the younger players. They're sort of under 21 and letting them play against Spurs, since that team has not had any contact with the first team at all. However, Spurs are afraid of contracting the virus before their Europa League matchup versus FC Schendejar. Probably butchering that, but we move. I think that's kind of the smarter move. That is a very important competition. They have to get through qualifying, so they really need to be healthy. However, this is gonna hurt Leyton if they're unable to play, because the revenue that they would get from playing the game would help to offset some of the revenue loss that they've had since the coronavirus came around, especially since a lot of these smaller clubs have been affected a lot, and it would really help to offset the loss. I just hope that a proper resolution comes to pass that helps Leyton and keeps Spurs healthy like they want, and both teams come out happy. You know, if it has to be played, so be it, with a younger team or whatever. I mean, I get Spurs' fears. They do have a big game coming up, so I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up not happening, because they have the more power between the two teams. And so I think that more than likely it's gonna get canceled. Spurs get a bye, but I hope that Leyton can get something out of it. That's the key there, because I feel bad for these lower clubs that have gotten hit hard by everything that's gone on and the financial crises that have been happening. So hopefully Leyton gets a proper solution for that whole situation. Number 2 is Roma was handed a 3-0 defeat. They had their opening day draw against Verona overturned. Player in their squad, Amadou Diawara, was included in the 25-man list, which is required in Italy, and he was listed as an under 22 player. However, he had just turned under 23. Now, that takes him out of the original 25-man list. Under 22s don't count towards the 25 players. So any player 22 and under does not count towards the 25-man list. Therefore, Roma already had 25 players on their list. So with him turning 23, he became the 26th player, and because of that, the Italian FA decided to take that action to hand them a 3-0 defeat. However, Roma will appeal. They said they still had places available and weren't trying to create space to include more players. And because Diawara played at a young age in Italy, he is classed as a homegrown player. This loss can definitely change the course of their season, especially because they face Juventus next. Not an easy matchup, and more than likely one that they might lose, to be perfectly honest. So 2 losses to start the season is not a good thing, and especially for that race for the Champions League. So their appeal goes through, the draw stands, the appeal goes through, the draw, comes back. But if it doesn't, then the defeat is what stands. And it's just an unfortunate situation. It was an administrative error, and the club may suffer because of it. So hopefully their appeal goes through and they get to at least get a draw. That point could make a difference ultimately. So hopefully their appeal goes through and things are resolved. Now, my number 3, Evra's rant against Man United. This came off the back of Man United losing to Crystal Palace. There was a bit of VAR controversy, but ultimately I think Crystal Palace did deserve the result. They looked in much the better side that game, and I feel as though they did deserve it. At the very least, deserve the draw. And I mean, you take away the penalty, it's still 2-1. So do with that what you will. Evra believes that the club, Man United, need to stop being so arrogant and that the newer players and board and staff don't respect the history of the club. Now, he also claimed that Ed Woodward who is United's executive vice chairman. Ed Woodward is trusting people he shouldn't trust, and he's trying to buy players I don't have the exact quotes, but to buy players worth $20 million for $100 million, which is kind of true. He also claimed that Matt Judge, who works with Woodward in player recruitment, has not been contactable. Evra claimed that he was contacted by a sporting director from a big club, and he asked Evra to ask Judge to pick up his phone, basically saying that they're not even trying to recruit players right now. Now, Evra said that he said all of this because he loves Man United and he just wants what's best for them. I'm interested to see how the club reacts. I mean, United have struggled a bit, but towards the end of last season, they looked much better. And I honestly thought that would carry over to this season, but clearly not. They've only signed Donny van Beek, and even though they've been linked with seriously linked with six other players, from the likes of, I think Chilwell at one point was they were in talks with him. Sancho obviously was another big one, but they couldn't bring these players in, and maybe it's because of the vision that the board has that's keeping these players from wanting to trust United and wanting to stay at United. That being said, United are linked with another player in Ousmane Dembele, who's big from Barcelona, or was big. He's been hit by a lot of injuries since joining Barcelona and hasn't really ever been able to hit that form he had at Dortmund. So maybe him going to United will be his out, and he'll probably get more game time at United, assuming he stays healthy. And who knows, he might be able to recreate that form with United. I don't know if Barcelona is the best place for him right now. I don't know if he's going to get the most game time right now. They do have a new manager, so anything is possible. I think Griezmann starts playing down the middle, especially if Suarez ends up leaving. So it could be that Dembele might just fit at United more, or maybe Coman has plans for Dembele. So we'll see with that. And with that being said, Barcelona, moving on to my fourth highlight. Josep Bartomeu, the president at Barcelona, does not want to leave Barcelona. So in order to force a vote to change leadership, Barcelona needed 16,520 votes amongst the club staff and all that. They got 20,687 signatures. So a club election would take place in March to replace Bartomeu. However, some club members believe that him and his board need to leave now. And this comes off the back of, obviously, you hate to see it, the 8-2 loss to Bayern. No titles last season, and Messi basically giving up on the club because they kind of gave up on him. They became way too over-reliant on the guy, and he gets all the flack for everything wrong with Barcelona. Now, this led to speculation that Bartomeu would resign. However, he has said that he has no intentions to do so. He said he would like to work with Messi and then move on. However, I believe that his relationship with Messi is strained, and it's more than likely beyond repair. And I don't think they'll ever be at the same relationship ever again. I feel like Messi will never trust Bartomeu again, and that's why I feel like that relationship is long gone. And for him wanting to just simply say move on is not gonna work. I doubt Messi's just gonna forget that Bartomeu lied to him about wanting to leave. But basically, Bartomeu kept telling Messi, "You can leave at the end of the season. You can leave at the end of the season." But then when the end of the season came, he said, "No one can buy you unless they pay your release clause," which is too much. Obviously, it was 700 million. It was euros, or might have been dollars, but I think it was in euros. Of course, nobody can pay that, so of course Messi couldn't leave, and he felt betrayed by Bartomeu. And I feel it's very selfish of Bartomeu to say he's not gonna resign. He's now the villain. Simply put, he's the villain among Barcelona fans. He's now the villain, even possibly even among the players. Who knows? He just doesn't seem to have Barcelona at heart. It seems he has some self-intentions, whatever they may be. We most likely will never know. He seems to have some self-intentions staying with the club. Something, I'm sure he gets money out of it or something, and he just simply doesn't want to leave. And it's almost he's ignoring everything that's going on around him. You know, he sees the fire and says, you know, it's fine, and does not want to leave. And this is gonna keep hurting the club. The drama is gonna keep hurting the club, and it's important that, you know, they move on. And I think Bartomeu needs to move on. He needs to resign in order for the club to reach some sort of normality again, or normalcy, whatever the word is again, and avoid all that drama. So I think Bartomeu should resign. Otherwise, he's definitely never gonna be a president of another club again, I think, unless he brings a whole lot of money to the table, then maybe. But he's ruined Barcelona's image right now, and he needs to go. Simply put, if you're a Barcelona fan, in your eyes, he should be going, and he's a villain. Simply put, he's the villain at the club now, and he's just ruining their image. End of story. Like number 5 is a bit of a biased one. Edouard Mendy has been confirmed by Frank Lampard to be undergoing a medical for Chelsea. This was yesterday on the 22nd of September. The deal is going to be worth about $23 million, up to around $32 million. Now, Edouard Mendy did make 33 appearances for Rennes in Ligue 1, the French league. He had 13 clean sheets and helped lead Rennes to a 3rd place finish in Ligue 1 and the UCL. And Lampard already confirmed that Kepa is benched for the next game. Now, whether the deal gets done in time, I don't know. We could see Mendy as soon as Saturday when Chelsea face off against West Brom. Caballero is going to start against the Carabao Cup, but according to Lampard, he was already going to start. And I don't see him starting against West Brom, to be perfectly honest. Kepa's been on thin ice, and that mistake against Liverpool broke that ice. And I think Lampard wanted to keep it under wraps, but I'm sure he's done with Kepa, at least for the foreseeable future. And the order will likely be Edouard Mendy, Willy Caballero, and then Kepa. 1, 2, 3. That's definitely how I see it panning out, and I feel for Kepa, but fortunately he just could not regain his confidence, and he just makes too many mistakes. Now, hopefully Edouard Mendy is the player, or the keeper that we need for the future, at least for the near future, you know, for the next couple years. And he can help lead us in that back line, because Kepa really lost it, and he does not deserve to be starting anymore. Simply put. Now, I love Caballero, but for me, he's not someone who can really be starting day in, day out, in my opinion. He's 38, so I think that bringing in Mendy's good. He's 28, but, you know, keepers last a lot longer than normal players, because they don't have as much, well, a very important role. However, they don't, you know, they're not running all over the pitch like everyone else, wearing their bodies down. So, of course, they're going to last longer than normal players. So, hopefully, Edouard Mendy could stick around for a bit and actually be, you know, a huge part of our defense and really help us improve back there. Yeah, Kepa is very, 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 very likely to leave. It's been in rumors. The question is who's going to pick him up. More than likely, it'll be a club in Spain. And unfortunately, it's only going to be for like 20 mil for that $90 million or so that we paid for him. I still hate the fact that we were put in that situation where we had to pay his release clause and couldn't just look for another keeper. Maybe we should have given Caballero a chance at the starting spot. I just hope Mendy can come in and help improve the defense and help us, you know, on this journey through this season where it's going to take a minute for us to get going, I can already tell. And hopefully he can come in and help a lot on the defense. Again, this was a biased highlight. I just saw this and I was very happy. So, yeah, those are my 5 highlights of the week. What do you guys think about all these highlights? What are your thoughts on them? Do you think that the Spurs Leyton Orient game should get played? Do you think Roma deserves a 3-0 defeat? Do you think Evra was right about his rant against United? Do you think Josep Bartomeu should leave Barcelona? Should he stay? Should he resign now? Do you think Edouard Mendy will be big for Chelsea? If you're a Chelsea fan, if you're not, then you probably don't care. But yeah, those are my 5 highlights. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, leave that bell on so you're notified when I upload. Go check out the socials: Twitter at BlueHermit1, Instagram at BlueHermit_. Please share the socials with all your friends, family, everybody know. Let the people know Blue Hermit's where it's at. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.